In the shadowed silence of space, beyond the pale blue aura of Earth, floated the Vanguard Station, a sentinel among the stars. Within its command center, Commander Alexander Kane stood as a figure carved from resolve, his gaze fixed on the planet below, a swirl of clouds and continents that had known peace and turmoil in equal measure. Today, it faced an unprecedented threat. Another wave from the depths of space, a Mecron armada cutting a swath towards Earth with intentions ominously clear, to wipe us out from existence. Kane's reflection in the glass was that of a man who had weathered storms, both terrestrial and celestial. His eyes, steel gray and sharp, had witnessed the rise and fall of empires among the stars. Yet the news of the approaching armada had ignited a new fire within him, a determination that burned brighter than the fusion cores powering the station. "Commander," a voice broke the silence, crisp and urgent. It belonged to Captain Harriet Zhao, Vanguard's second-in-command, her presence marked by an air of competence that rivaled Kane's own. "The Council has made its decision. You're to command the Defiance." Kane turned, his expression unreadable. "Then we have no time to lose," he said, the weight of his new command settling on his shoulders like a mantle. "Earth will not face this threat alone. Assemble the crew. Priority 1. Zhao nodded, her demeanor unwavering. "I have the short list, top of their fields, the best we can offer." Among the names was Dr. Eliza Cortez, a maverick in the field of energy weapons, her genius only matched by her reputation for defying convention. Then there was Lieutenant Marcus Flynn, a tactician with a penchant for the unpredictable, his strategies as unconventional as they were effective. As Kane and Zhao moved through the corridors of Vanguard, their steps were purposeful, echoing in the quiet. The station, usually abuzz with activity, felt suspended in time, its inhabitants holding their breath as if the very air was charged with the gravity of the impending confrontation. Their first stop was the lab where Cortez was engrossed in her latest project, sparks flying from a device that hummed with potential. She looked up, her eyes alight with the thrill of discovery. "Cortez, you're with us," Kane announced, foregoing formalities. "Your expertise is needed on the Defiance." Cortez's response was a grin, sharp and confident. "About time you realize that, Commander. Let's make some aliens regret crossing paths with Earth." The trio's next destination was the Tactical Simulations Room, where Flynn was orchestrating a virtual skirmish, his focus unbroken until Kane's shadow fell over the console. "Flynn, your unconventional tactics have earned you a spot on the Defiance. Ready to put them to the test for real?" Kane's tone was an unspoken challenge, one that Flynn met with a smirk. "Sir, I thought you'd never ask. Let's show these aliens that humans play by a different set of rules." With the crew beginning to assemble, the atmosphere within Vanguard shifted, a palpable sense of purpose uniting those chosen. They were not merely soldiers and scientists. They were humanity's vanguard, the spear tip of its will to survive and prevail. The Defiance, docked and dormant, awaited its crew, a behemoth of metal and might. It was more than a ship. It was a statement of humanity's refusal to bow to the darkness encroaching upon their world. As Kane boarded, he felt the weight of centuries of human aspiration and defiance, a legacy that he carried into the heart of the vessel. The Defiance came to life around him, systems awakening with a symphony of beeps and hums, its heart beating in sync with those who would command her. Kane's first address to his assembled crew was brief, his words cutting through the air with precision. "This ship, this mission is humanity's response to a threat unlike any we've faced. We carry with us the hope of our planet, the resolve to protect our home. We are the Defiance, and we will not falter." As the Defiance disengaged from Vanguard, setting a course towards the Mecron, Earth receded into the distance, a blue marble veiled in shadow. Yet, aboard the ship, a light kindled, the light of human spirit, unbreakable and fierce. As Defiance cut a swift path through the cosmos, its belly a hive of preparation and resolve, Commander Kane knew that the success of their mission hinged not just on the mettle and might of the ship, but on the mettle and minds of those aboard. The assembly of his crew was a task approached with the precision of a chess master positioning his pieces, each selected for their capability to turn the tide of an uncertain war. Dr. Eliza Cortez, already aboard and buzzing with the energy of a reactor on the brink of breakthrough, was the first to present her contribution to their cause. In the ship's main lab, a room aglow with the soft light of holograms and the steady hum of advanced machinery, she unveiled her latest invention, a plasma shield designed to render Defiance nigh invulnerable to the alien armada's weaponry. "This," Cortez began, her voice a mix of pride and excitement, "is the key to evening the playing field." She gestured towards the shimmering field of energy that danced like the aurora borealis contained within a sphere of her making. "Based on their initial assault patterns and energy signatures, I've tailored this shield to absorb and dissipate their firepower." Kane, alongside Zhao and a handful of engineering minds, watched as Cortez demonstrated the shield's capabilities. It was an impressive display, beams of simulated alien energy harmlessly disintegrating against the plasma barrier. "Seems like you've outdone yourself, Cortez," Kane remarked, the corners of his mouth betraying a hint of a smile. Cortez, arms crossed, met his praise with a nod. "Just doing my part, Commander. Besides, I'm not about to let some extraterrestrial bullies outdo human ingenuity." The camaraderie was brief as attention turned to the tactical approach, a matter Lieutenant Marcus Flynn was more than eager to address. The crew gathered in the strategic planning room, a stark contrast to the lab with its maps of star systems and potential battle zones projected in the air. Flynn stepped forward, his demeanor that of a man who thrived in the unpredictable chaos of combat. "If we're to stand any chance, we can't play by their rules. We don't have their numbers, but we have something better, creativity and the element of surprise." He laid out his proposal for guerrilla tactics in space, a series of hit-and-run attacks designed to harry the alien fleet, targeting supply lines and isolated ships. It's about making them second-guess their every move, keeping them off balance while we chip away at their strength. Kane, leaning against the holographic display table, considered Flynn's plan. "It's risky," he conceded, "but conventional strategies won't win this war. We'll need every advantage we can muster." Zhao, ever the voice of reason, added, "And it plays to our strengths. The Defiance was built for speed and agility. With Cortez's shield and Flynn's tactics, we become more than a thorn in their side." The room buzzed with a mixture of anxiety and excitement as the crew debated positions and responsibilities. Each member knew the part they played was crucial to the survival of not just themselves, but of Earth itself. Engineers, pilots, medics, and soldiers, each was handpicked by Kane for their expertise and their willingness to face the unknown. As the meeting dispersed, the air was thick with the weight of what lay ahead. Yet beneath it all, there was an undercurrent of determination, a shared resolve that unified the crew of the Defiance. They were not just representatives of Earth's last stand, they were the embodiment of human resilience, ingenuity, and spirit. Kane watched his crew, a group brought together by circumstance and necessity, each ready to play their part in the coming conflict. In the silence of space, aboard the Defiance, humanity's hope was taking shape, fortified by the brilliance of minds like Cortez and the strategic cunning of soldiers like Flynn. The cold expanse of space near Earth had never felt more hostile than in the moments before the first strike. The alien armada, a phalanx of ships whose designs were as alien to the human eye as their intentions, sliced through the void, their approach silent, yet screaming of impending doom. On board the Defiance, tension knitted the brows of the crew, a reflection of the gravity of their situation. Commander Kane stood at the forefront, his gaze locked on the main viewport, where the first signs of the assault materialized as streaks of destructive energy raining down towards Earth. The planet's defense systems, a network of satellites and ground-based cannons, lit up in a desperate bid to thwart the onslaught. "Report!" Kane's voice cut through the tense silence of the bridge, a command that snapped everyone to focus. "Our defenses are holding, but just barely," Zhao replied, her eyes flicking across the data on her screen. "Casualties are mounting. The alien weapons are incredibly efficient." It was then that the Armada dispatched a vanguard of their own, a sleek ship bristling with weaponry, breaking formation to test the Defiance's mettle. Kane's jaw tightened. "This is our chance to show them what humanity is made of. Cortez, is the plasma shield ready?" Cortez, her usual irreverence subdued by the moment, nodded. "It's now or never. Let's give them a warm welcome." The crew of the Defiance watched as the scout ship advanced, its weapons charging for a strike. Kane gave the order, and the Defiance surged forward, Cortez's plasma shield flaring to life around them, a vibrant barrier against the cold darkness. The alien ship's weapons fired, beams of concentrated energy that had raised Earth's defenses only moments before. They hit the plasma shield, a spectacle of light and power, but instead of devastating destruction, the positron beams dissipated, absorbed by the shield's glowing embrace. A murmur of disbelief and awe swept through the bridge. Humanity had not just survived, it had countered with technology the aliens had not anticipated. "Now, Flynn, your turn," Kane said, the hint of a smirk on his lips. Flynn, ever ready, had already set his plan into motion. "Dropping ghost drones now. Let's see how they like a taste of their own confusion." The Defiance deployed a swarm of drones, each mirroring the ship's signature on sensors, creating a confusing array of targets. As the alien ship focused on the decoys, the Defiance moved into position, silent and deadly as a shadow. "With pleasure," Cortez said, activating the ship's main cannon, now supercharged by the same technology powering the shield. The cannon fired, a lance of pure energy that pierced the scout ship's armor as if it were paper, igniting its core in a silent, brilliant explosion that faded into the void. Cheers erupted on the bridge, a release of tension and a celebration of a victory, however small against the looming threat of the Armada. Kane allowed himself a moment of satisfaction before turning to his crew. "This is just the beginning. We've shown them we can hit back. Now we need to be ready for their response. Prepare for evasive maneuvers, and keep those shields up. This war is far from over." As the crew scrambled to follow his orders, Kane's gaze returned to the viewport, where the remnants of the alien scout drifted like a warning, the exact type of ship that 300 years prior wiped out half of our planet. Humanity had answered, not with despair but with defiance, a testament to their resilience and ingenuity. In the aftermath of their unexpected victory, the Defiance became more than a ship. It became a symbol, a beacon of hope in humanity's darkest hour, casting its light far beyond the cold reaches of space, touching the hearts and minds of billions on Earth. The destruction of the alien ship, a David versus Goliath tale told in the void between stars, reverberated through every city, every home, rallying the spirit of a beleaguered planet. Commander Kane, aware of the power of this moment, prepared to broadcast a message to the world. The bridge of the Defiance served as his stage, the crew his silent audience as they worked, their attention split between their duties and the significance of the address they were about to witness. "People of Earth," Kane began, his voice steady and clear, transmitted across every available channel. "Today, we have proven that we are not defenseless against the threats that seek to extinguish our existence. Aboard the Defiance, we have faced the enemy head-on and emerged victorious. But this is not just our victory, it is yours." As Kane spoke, images of the Defiance's engagement with the alien scout ship played out on screens worldwide, a visual testament to human ingenuity and courage. The plasma shield absorbing the alien fire, the ghost drones sowing confusion, and the decisive strike that obliterated the enemy craft. "This victory," Kane continued, "is a testament to what we can achieve when we stand together, united by a common cause. It is a call to arms, an invitation to fight not just for survival, but for our right to exist, to thrive. I urge you, people of Earth, to rally, to organize, and to prepare. The battle ahead will be challenging, but together, there is nothing we cannot overcome." The response was immediate and overwhelming. Across the globe, from the ruins of cities still smoldering from the initial alien attacks to the far-flung outposts of human colonization, a new resolve took hold. Resistance groups, some formed in the chaos of the first strikes, gained new members, their ranks swelling with volunteers eager to do their part. In the urban sprawls, civilians trained alongside military personnel, turning plazas and parks into makeshift training grounds. Engineers and scientists pooled their knowledge and resources, working tirelessly to innovate and adapt existing technology for the fight ahead. In rural areas, farmers and landowners formed militias, their familiarity with the land becoming a strategic advantage in guerrilla tactics. The world, in all its diversity, found common ground in the fight for survival. Cortez, watching the broadcast unfold, couldn't help but marvel at the unity Kane's words had inspired. "Seems the commander has a way with words," she commented, a hint of admiration in her voice. Flynn, standing beside her, smirked. "Words are great, but it's the action that counts. Still, it's good to see the world hasn't lost its fight." Zhao, overseeing the coordination of the global response from the Defiance, added, "This is just the beginning. The real test is yet to come." The crew returned to their tasks, buoyed by the knowledge that Earth was not passive in the face of annihilation. Humanity was mobilizing, its collective spirit kindled by the actions of the few aboard the Defiance. As Kane concluded his broadcast, a simple message of hope and defiance, the Defiance itself pressed on, a lone sentinel against the darkness, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The unity and tenacity of humankind, sparked by their victory, now blazed like a fire across the planet, a rallying cry for all who dared to stand against the encroaching shadow. The strategy room aboard the Defiance buzzed with a palpable energy, a blend of anticipation and resolve. Commander Kane stood at the center, his crew arrayed around him, each member ready to play their part in the audacious plan that lay unfolded before them. The holographic display in the middle of the room painted a vivid picture of the alien armada's sprawling formation, a constellation of threat against the backdrop of space. "Our objective is clear," Kane began, his voice cutting through the hum of conversation. "Hit fast, hit hard, and vanish before they can react. We chip away at their numbers, disrupt their supply lines, and keep them guessing. Flynn, your insight into guerrilla tactics will be invaluable here." Flynn, ever the tactician, nodded, a smirk playing on his lips. "Happy to oblige. We'll make ghosts of them yet." Cortez chimed in, her eyes gleaming with the challenge. "And with the plasma shield, we've got the best cloak and dagger. They won't see us coming or going." The plan was daring, striking at isolated ships on the fringes of the alien fleet, using the Defiance's superior speed and agility, coupled with the deceptive capabilities of the ghost drones, to engage and evade before any substantial retaliation could be mounted. Each hit would serve a dual purpose, to whittle down the enemy's strength and to sow confusion and fear within their ranks. The first sortie was executed with surgical precision. The Defiance, cloaked by Cortez's plasma shield, slipped unnoticed through the void towards their target, a supply vessel lagging at the edge of the alien formation. As they drew close, Flynn deployed the drones, creating a swarm of false signals that masked the Defiance's true approach. With the alien vessel's defenses distracted, the Defiance struck, its weapon systems discharging a concentrated barrage that tore through the supply ship's hull, igniting its stores and sending it adrift as a burning husk. Before the enemy could pinpoint their attacker, the Defiance was gone, slipping away into the dark, leaving chaos in their wake. The tactic was repeated across the fringes of the alien fleet, each strike a testament to human ingenuity and the crew's seamless coordination. News of their successes filtered back to Earth, each report a beacon of hope that bolstered the morale of those fighting and surviving on the home front. Kane watched from the bridge as their latest target smoldered in the void, a satisfaction in his chest that was quickly tempered by the knowledge of the long road ahead. "Good work, everyone. Let's keep them on their toes." Zhao, overseeing the operations, added, "Every ship we take down is one less gun against Earth. We're making a difference." Amid the strategic victories and the adrenaline of their guerrilla campaign, there were moments of levity that served as reminders of their humanity. Flynn, recounting the bewildered communications intercepted from the aliens during their last engagement, couldn't help but laugh. "You think they'd learn after the third time? Guess we're just too slippery for them." Cortez, reviewing data from the plasma shield's performance, grinned. "Slippery and shielded. They didn't know what hit them." But it was Kane's resolve that anchored them, his eyes always on the horizon, always calculating the next move. "We continue at dawn. Rest up. We've got a long fight ahead of us." As the crew dispersed, each to their respective duties or quarters, there was a shared sense of purpose, a unity forged in the crucible of conflict. The Defiance had become more than a ship. It was a harbinger of humanity's resistance, a shadow darting through the stars, striking where least expected and vanishing before retribution could be wrought. A few days into their mission and under the cloak of nebulas and the silent watch of distant stars, Lieutenant Flynn embarked on a mission that was as daring as it was crucial. With a hand-picked team aboard a stealth shuttle, the Wraith, They slipped through the cold expanse towards the heart of the alien armada, their flagship. This behemoth of unknown alloys and enigmatic design had loomed like a specter over Earth, orchestrating the assault with terrifying efficiency. Uncovering its secrets, finding its Achilles heel, could tip the scales in humanity's favor. Flynn's team was a microcosm of the Defiance's spirit, each member an expert in their field, driven by a resolve that mirrored Flynn's own. They understood the stakes, the razor's edge upon which they balanced, yet their determination was unshakable. As they neared the alien fleet, cloaked by the latest in stealth technology, the Wraith's sensors hummed, probing for weaknesses, for any chink in the flagship's armor. Flynn, eyes glued to the data streams, whispered an ethos that had become their mantra. In shadows, we find the light. The breakthrough came unexpectedly, a flicker in the data, a pattern amid the static. The flagship, for all its might, had a flaw, a momentary drop in its shield's integrity, syncing with the pulse of its propulsion system. It was a narrow window, barely a heartbeat, yet it was all humanity needed. Back aboard the Defiance, Flynn presented his findings, the crew gathering around, a collective breath held in anticipation. Kane, Zhao, and Cortez leaned in, their eyes tracing the data, understanding dawning with each passing moment. "It's a long shot," Flynn admitted, the corner of his mouth quirking up in a half-smile. "But since when have we shied away from those?" Kane's response was a nod, his gaze already shifting to the strategic implications. "A long shot's all we've ever needed." Cortez, ever the pragmatist, chimed in, "We'll need to time it perfectly. One shot, one opportunity. We can't miss." The plan was audacious. A single, precision strike at the heart of the alien threat during the brief vulnerability in their shields. Success would require flawless execution, every member of the Defiance playing their part in a dance of timing and technology. As preparations began, the ship buzzed with a renewed vigor. Engineers calibrated weapon systems for maximum impact, and the crew steeled themselves for the battle to come. Flynn, reviewing the mission parameters, couldn't help but engage in a bit of banter with Cortez, a momentary levity in the weight of their task. "After this, I'm thinking of taking up something a bit less stressful, beekeeping perhaps." Cortez laughed, her tools clinking softly as she worked. "You? Bees would bore you to tears. Besides, you'd miss the thrill." The camaraderie, the shared moments of lightness amidst the gravity of their mission, underscored the bond that had formed among the crew. They were more than colleagues. They were comrades in arms, united by a cause greater than any one of them. As the Defiance set its course, the plan in motion, Kane addressed his crew, his voice a beacon of resolve. "This is it. Our moment to change the tide. To show that no matter the odds, humanity will always find a way. For Earth, for all we hold dear, we fight." As the Defiance carved its path through the cosmos, back on Earth, a remarkable transformation unfolded. The revelation of a vulnerability within the alien armada's flagship, thanks to Flynn's reconnaissance, had ignited a fire across the globe. For the first time in human history, every nation, every community, unified under a single banner, not of a country or a creed, but of humanity itself. The impending strike against the aliens wasn't just a military operation. It was a symbol of human resilience, ingenuity, and an indomitable spirit. Engineers from disparate parts of the world collaborated, their combined expertise forging new weapons and reinforcing Earth's defenses. Soldiers trained alongside civilians who volunteered in droves, each individual eager to contribute to the planet's defense. The barriers that had once divided humanity, borders, languages, ideologies, seemed trivial in the face of extinction. In a sprawling hangar, a team of engineers led by Cortez worked tirelessly on the Defiance's armaments, enhancing the firepower needed for the decisive strike. "If we pull this off," she mused aloud, "we're not just making history, we're saving it." Her team laughed, the sound echoing off the metal walls, a moment of levity in the midst of their monumental task. Among them was an engineer from a small country, once overlooked in the global arena, now contributing critical innovations. "Back home we say, from small seeds grow mighty trees," he said, pride evident in his voice. "I never imagined I'd see the whole forest come together like this." On the training grounds, Flynn oversaw the preparation of the strike teams, His unconventional tactics, now the doctrine of a new kind of warfare. Soldiers, seasoned and new, hung on his every word, their determination mirrored in his steely gaze. "Remember," Flynn told them, "it's not about the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog. We've got plenty of fight in us." Among the volunteers was a young woman, her previous life as a teacher a stark contrast to the soldier she was becoming. She approached Flynn, her resolve firm. "Lieutenant, I want to thank you, we all do, for giving us a chance to fight back." Flynn offered a rare, genuine smile. "We're all in this together. Every last one of us is the reason we'll win this war." Meanwhile, Kane orchestrated the global effort from the Defiance, his leadership extending beyond the ship to the furthest reaches of human resistance. In a broadcast to the world, he shared the plan of attack, not as an order, but as an invitation to stand united. "People of Earth," Kane began, his image transmitted to every corner of the planet. "This is our moment. The courage of a few has opened a path to victory, but it's the courage of us all that will see us through. Every effort, every sacrifice leads us to this point. Together, we will strike at the heart of our enemy, but more than that, we will strike a blow for the enduring spirit of humanity. Let's show them what we're made of." The response was immediate, a chorus of voices from around the globe pledging their support, their strength, and their hope. In research labs, factories, and homes, people worked with a single purpose. The unity was not just strategic, it was personal, each individual driven by the desire to protect their home, their loved ones, and their way of life. As the day of the strike approached, the Defiance and Earth itself stood ready, a united front against the darkness. The unity of purpose, the culmination of every skill, every talent, and every dream, had forged a weapon more potent than any plasma cannon or tactical maneuver: the collective will of humanity. Cortez, pausing in her work to wipe the sweat from her brow, looked around at her team, a microcosm of the world outside. "We're ready," she said, a simple declaration that carried the weight of millions of hopes. Flynn, reviewing the final details of the mission, felt the gravity of the moment, the unity of purpose that had brought them to this precipice. "Let's make history," he said, not as a command, but as a vow made on behalf of all humanity. The unity of purpose had transformed a disparate group of individuals into a singular force, poised to challenge the might of an alien empire. In the face of annihilation, humanity had found its greatest strength, not in weapons or walls, but in each other. Together, they stood on the brink of a battle that would decide the fate of their world, united in their resolve to fight, to survive, and to win. In the vast, unyielding expanse of space, the Defiance, leading a vanguard of humanity's resolve, set its course towards destiny. Surrounding it, a flotilla of vessels, each a testament to Earth's unified defiance, moved as one. This small but determined fleet represented the best of human innovation, courage, and the indomitable spirit to fight against the encroaching darkness. At the heart of this audacious assault was a plan to target the alien flagship's revealed vulnerability, a plan born from the courage and cunning of those like Flynn and the brilliance of minds like Cortez's. As they approached the alien armada, the vastness of space became a canvas for an epic confrontation. The alien flagship, a behemoth of unknown metals and sinister purpose, loomed ahead, unaware of the storm that was about to break upon it. Cortez, her fingers dancing over the control panel, ensured the plasma shield was calibrated to perfection, the culmination of human ingenuity and her own relentless determination. "This shield better hold, or we're going to get a lot closer to those aliens than I'd like," she quipped, tension and humor mingling in her voice. Flynn, his gaze fixed on the tactical display, responded with a grin. "Just keep us invisible a little longer, Cortez. I plan on making this a visit they'll never forget." The initial volley of fire from the human ships was a declaration, a refusal to go quietly into the night. The Defiance, swift and lethal, darted through the alien formations, its movements a choreography of Flynn's strategic genius. The ghost drones, deployed with precision, created a labyrinth of false targets, disorienting the alien defenses. Amid the chaos, the Defiance found its path to the flagship, the shield's vulnerability window their beacon. The timing had to be perfect. The margin for error was non-existent. Kane, standing resolute at the helm, gave the order, his voice steady. "Now, Cortez, everything we've got." The plasma shield flickered, transitioning from defense to offense, channeling the Defiance's power into a single, concentrated strike. The energy cannon, humming with pent-up fury, unleashed its wrath at the precise moment the alien shield wavered. The beam of pure energy struck true, piercing the Mechron flagship's hull and igniting its core. The explosion was a silent, brilliant testament to human resilience, the flagship crumbling from within, a giant felled by the slingshot of humanity's defiance. As the flagship's destruction rippled through the alien ranks, confusion turned to disarray. The human fleet, seizing the moment, pressed the attack. Ships that had once stood on the brink of annihilation now danced between their foes, each strike a blow for Earth, for home, and for the future. Kane, witnessing the tide turn, allowed himself a moment of pride. "This is for Earth," he murmured, a promise kept, a duty fulfilled. The battle raged, the space around them a storm of fire and fury. Losses were felt on both sides, the cost of victory written in the stars. Yet, amid the sacrifice, the bravery of the human spirit shone brightest. Cortez, watching the remnants of the alien flagship drift into oblivion, felt a surge of triumph mixed with sorrow. "We did it," she said, the weight of their loss and the scale of their victory settling in her heart. Flynn, surveying the battlefield, nodded in agreement. "We did," he acknowledged. "But this is just the beginning. The Armada's crippled, but not defeated. We've given Earth a fighting chance." The Defiance and its fleet, regrouped, ready to face the next challenge. The destruction of the flagship, a beacon of hope across the cosmos, signaled not the end, but a new chapter in humanity's fight for survival. Amid the debris and the stars, the human spirit, unyielding and fierce, prepared for the journey home, for the battles yet to come, united in purpose and strengthened by the bonds forged in the crucible of war. In the aftermath of the decisive strike, Kane stood before the main viewport, gazing out at the stars that had witnessed their fiercest battle. The victory had been theirs, but the reflection in the glass showed a man who understood the burdens such triumphs demanded. He turned to face his crew, the survivors of a war that had asked more of them than any should bear. "We have done what many thought impossible," he began, his voice echoing softly through the ship. "But our celebration is tempered by our loss. We honor those who cannot stand with us today, whose courage and sacrifice have ensured a future for us all." Cortez, her hands mechanically adjusting a tool belt that felt heavier than before, paused to listen. The brilliance of her inventions had turned the tide, yet the cost shadowed her heart. "Every circuit, every bolt, they're all reminders," she whispered to no one in particular, her usual spark dimmed by the weight of loss. Flynn, leaning against a bulkhead, nodded in silent agreement. His tactics had bewildered their foes, yet the faces of those he had led, now absent, haunted him. "We fought for each other, for those we've lost," he said, the edge in his voice softened by grief. "We'll carry their memory, always." As the Defiance made its way back to Earth, the mood was not one of defeat, but of reflective victory. The crew, bound by their shared ordeal, understood the fragility of their success. The Mechron Armada was still out there, Earth was still cornered by the alien threat, but their victory, albeit small, paved the road for success. Upon their arrival, the world greeted them not with fanfare, but with a solemn respect. Memorials sprang up across the globe, each name etched in stone a promise to remember the cost of freedom. Humanity, united in grief, found strength in their shared loss, their collective mourning forging an even deeper bond.